This is a preview episode of Season 1 Chapter 1 of the next series in How to Create a Glitch in the Matrix, the Tree of Life. In this episode, we will be talking about the pathways for upregulation, which correspond to particular manifestations of spatial non-consensuality and archetypal consensuality within the same actor. As explained in Origins, an individual starts out as a member of the in-group associated with one of the 37 families, part of the archetypal consensual line, then is expelled from that group, becoming a spatial non-consensual actor. Thus, it is apparent that both profiles, so to speak, exist within the same genetics, each being simply a reflection of gene expression, as it pertains to the Y chromosome specifically when spatial non-consensuality is linked to the patrilineal line. To start off, there are some interesting ramifications of the above. Namely, that archetypal consensuality reflects a common epigenetic regulation of the Y chromosome. We know this because the breathing techniques as described in the complete series alter the genetic profile of a person by preserving some level of spatial non-consensuality or lack of integration. To be clear, the link is as follows. Anaerobic respiration involves upregulation of glycolysis in the skeletal muscles, which reflect Y chromosome genetics in males. This means that greater expression of the Y chromosome is required to produce this upregulation of anaerobic glycolysis, or energy production. Ordinarily, common gene expression is the cause of the reciprocal altruism coincident with an archetypal consensual in-group. This common gene expression must be overlaid upon some common lineal line. In the case of a male, for example, the patrilineal line must maintain some range of common gene expression to produce the phenotypic recognition necessary for reciprocal altruism to develop. In other words, to return to the breathing exercises, what we see is that extensive prolonged anaerobic energy production can displace the common gene expression profile necessary for reciprocal altruism between patrilineal individuals. This means that the actors become capable of appropriating physical territoriality from each other further to this lack of reciprocation. To put it another way, since substitution and displacement events must be reciprocated in order for reciprocal altruism to develop within a lineal line, an overabundance of these events to the beneficial interest of one or the other patrilineal individuals results in a net loss of fitness for the individual losing that corresponding Y chromosomal gene expression. In other words, what I am saying is that anaerobic respiration for a prolonged period produces a shock for Y chromosomal gene expression, a reset, so to speak, which enhances Y chromosomal expression beyond the compromise created through reciprocal altruism within the patrilineal line. This causes one or the other interacting individual to become a spatial non-consensual actor, owing to the imbalance of displacement or substitution events impacting the fitness of one of the two patrilineal individuals. Thus, we can see that archetypal consensuality is created through a compromise fashioned by the reciprocal altruism manifesting as common Y chromosomal gene expression profiles, as between related patrilineal individuals. That's the end of the podcast for today.